Now, let's extend the idea just a little bit. And this gets at our second goal of multiplying a monomial and a polynomial. And what we're going to do is, first of all, apply the distributive property. And then we're going to proceed as for two monomials, but with each little piece that we have. So let's look at an example. Let's multiply 3 times x squared plus 6. This one's fairly straightforward. We're just going to use the distributive property with the 3 and end up with a 3x squared plus a 3 times 6, which simplifies to 3x squared plus 18. And many of you can probably, on most days, safely go directly to the second step. Let's apply this in a slightly more interesting case. We'll just add another x out front, or add an x out front. So we've got a 3x. It'll be almost the same problem, times x squared plus 6. And again, we'll start with the distributive property. That's our first move. So drawing arrows, especially useful in larger problems to keep track of what you're doing. We'll have 3x times x squared and a 3x times 6. Well, we will want to apply our product rule here. So our next move, I'm just going to use the kind of general phrase or term, simplify, which means get rid of as many parentheses as you can and combine your powers and things like that. So we'll have a 3x to the 1 plus 2 power and 18x, x is all by itself there, no powers to combine, 3x to the third power plus 18x is our final answer. And of course, we're going to do another example that's a little more entertaining than that. Let me take this page away. Let's suppose you're told to multiply, and the directions do sometimes come at you this way, 5m squared and 4m squared minus 3m plus 1. Well, for our solution, what we'll want to do is write the 5m squared in front of the parentheses and put the longer polynomial inside the parentheses to indicate our multiplication. And first move, again, is to use the distributive property. So, one at a time, that's going to be 5m squared times 4m squared. That one's done. Now we need to add 5m squared times a negative 3m. And then we need to add 5m squared times 1. You wouldn't necessarily have to write out something like 5m squared times 1, but it can be helpful initially. Well, going one at a time, 5 times 4 is 20. Oops. 20. And we're going to have m raised to the power 2 plus 2. Then we'll have 5 times a negative 3, which will get us a negative 15. So we can write minus 15. M is raised to the power 2 plus, remember, there's a 1 on that m. So we have a 2 plus 1. And last but not least, 5m squared times 1 is just going to be plus 5m squared. So we're left with 20 times m raised to the 4th power minus 15 times m raised to the 3rd power plus 5m squared. And that's as simplified as that one is going to get. I guess I didn't write down in our roadmap that our next move is to start simplifying. That began up here. To review, or recap, our overall method, and I'm going to write it for the more general case of the monomial times the polynomial, is first of all use our distributive property, and then we're going to simplify each of the little pieces that we have to work with that are all added up. And by applying, we'll do that by applying the product rule as we clean it up. And that's the end of this segment.